This is the fresh perspective. What you're about to hear is not an explanation, it's a reflection. There's no rush, just listen, and let it meet you where you are. After everything we had spoken about, I stopped explaining, because there comes a moment when words must step aside and experience must speak. I wanted my cousin to feel what freedom really means, not as an idea, but as something real. I paused for a moment. I told my cousin to relax, to let everything sink in. While he sat there quietly, still thinking about the egg, the bottle, and how limitations dissolve from a higher view, I stood up, I locked the door, I closed the windows. Then I said something unexpected. "Put on your phone," I told him. "Play some music." He looked at me, confused, but he did it. The room filled with sound. Then I asked him, "If I locked you in here and traveled far away and no one ever came in, how would you escape?" He looked at me and said quietly, "I can't." I nodded. Then I said, "But listen, the music is playing." "That music," I said, "means something is already entering this room." Electromagnetic radiation with long wavelengths, like radio waves, pass through walls, through doors, through barriers that look solid. The room feels sealed, but it is not. And if waves can enter, then this space is not as closed as it appears. My cousin looked around again, not at the walls this time, but at the air. Something had shifted. I continued gently. Even if science someday finds a way to block every signal, every wave, every frequency, I paused. There is still one thing no wall can ever stop. He looked at me. Your imagination. I let that sit. Even when you finally walk out of this room, you can return here again and again in your mind. Nothing can place a boundary on where awareness can go. I said it slowly. Walls stop bodies. They do not stop consciousness. Some things pass through matter, I said, because they vibrate differently. Not because they're stronger, but because they're subtler. He was listening intently now. I took a breath. And yes, I said carefully, ghosts can pass through walls, literally. He blinked. Not as metaphor, not as belief, because they exist at a different level of vibration than physical matter. I paused. And this is not strange. It is consistent. Life itself moves across levels we cannot always see. As I said this, I watched my cousin closely. I didn't want to frighten him. I didn't want to overwhelm him. I was careful, because truth should never be forced. It should be offered and allowed to unfold naturally. So I slowed my voice. "There's something else," I said, "and you may not want to hear it." I paused. But it is true. Imagination and sound can reach anywhere. With understanding, with training, they can reach beyond what eyes can see and telescopes can measure. Then I stopped myself. Before I say anything more, I said, "Let me ask you something. Would saying the word peace conflict with your religion?" He said, "No." "What about love?" "No." "What about mathematics?" He smiled. "No." "What about the word human?" Again, no. "People of every faith say these words," I said, "and none feel betrayed." He agreed, and I could see his shoulders relax. "Then there is one more sound," I said. I paused. "Not man-made. A sound that is fundamental." I chose my words carefully. It is the vibration of the essence of life itself, the sound of the ethers that gave birth to atoms. My cousin leaned forward. "Everything," I said softly, "resonates this sound at different frequencies. All life is sustained by it. It moves through wind, through the rhythm of rain, through the hum of engines, through the quiet rippling of streams. It is woven into laughter, into weeping, into the breath between words." I looked at him. "Close your ears tightly with your thumbs," I said. "Listen." He did. And after a moment, his eyes widened. He heard it, because everything lives in this sound. "Who?" I said quietly. I paused, then asked softly, "What is the sound of a mighty rushing wind?" I let that settle. This is why the sages call it the holy name of God, because of the omnipresence of the divine, the sound behind all sounds. This sound, I said, is not a religion. It does not replace faith. It does not interfere with belief. I leaned forward. It is the sound of the essence that gives rise to atoms, which become the building blocks of life here. It vibrates through the visible and the invisible, the manifest and the unmanifest. And I added quietly, notice something simple. Hue is the first two letters in the word human. I smiled gently. Someone placed it there as a reminder. You may want to try it, I told him. Not as effort, not as demand, but in surrender. I paused. Sing it daily, with love, with openness, with trust in God, or love, or life. I looked him in the eyes, then watch. I did not say more, because this part must be discovered, not explained. Nothing can imprison what you truly are. Walls may hold bodies, circumstances may press minds, but awareness has always been free. You don't need permission. You don't need conversion. You already hold the key to greater than life experiences. If this reflection spoke to you, share it with someone who might need it. You might wish to subscribe for more. I've also created a song just for this reflection. As a gentle reminder of the lesson, you'll find it in the pinned comment. Sometimes music carries truth where words must fall silent. Take your time. Let this settle. This is The Fresh Perspective. Thank you for listening.